Name, image, and great story in the Albuquerque Journal by Jeff Grammer interviewing Richard Pitino and talking about retention. And Jeff, if you're watching the program, why didn't we discuss how retention has been done here? There was an element of that story missing, and it was 505 SVF. Anyway, I'm urging you all to get involved, not only to contribute, and that's 505sports.org, but there's a lot going on. Mo Maestas outside of NIL or outside of 505 SVF. Up in Santa Fe, the session is legislative session is in full force, and State Senator Mo Maestas, a friend of 505 SVF, has a pending bill to help fund name, image, and likeness at UNM and at New Mexico State, which is necessary. So, if you're interested in supporting it, give a call to your state senator. Give a call to your representative. It's Senate Bill 259. Tell them to support the NIL bill. You want it done. They're your representatives. Let's make it happen. Again, 505sports.org. Call your House, your Senate representative. Let's get this done. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with our special guest.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the 505 Sports Venture Foundation program. I was remiss in my opening statement not to thank President Steve Davis of ProView for giving us this opportunity every week to talk to you. We're sitting in the ProView studios high above beautiful Central Avenue in downtown Albuquerque. And of course, my producer behind the glass who makes this happen, makes the show go, puts up the graphics, helps me with my car. I don't know what I'd do without Adrian from LA. He's one of our best guys, and thanks a lot. All right, familiar guest, voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy. Rob, how you doing?
I'm awesome, Kurt.
All right.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So much to talk about. We're going to get to UNM in about 30 seconds, but I want to hold this newspaper up, the Albuquerque Journal. I keep telling you guys, buy it. Go buy the Journal. Subscribe online. I know Rob does. I get this thing in the driveway every day. Look at the sports section. We got Lobo baseball. We got Lobo basketball. Red hot Albuquerque Academy girls. Our supporter Josh Skarsgård, his daughter Lucy, point guard. Read the stuff, and now we've got the Pro Football article on the bottom. What else do you want? Keep local media alive. Subscribe to the Journal. All right, enough on that rant.
Great pitch.
Thank you. We got a story about Lobos playing defense on the front page. Let's just focus on that and then get to the bigger picture. You know the story. You know how defense leads to offense.
I think comparing last year's team and its defense to this year's team and its defense is instructive, Kurt, because there may have been better individual defenders on last year's team. I think JT Toppin's an elite shot blocker. We know that. He's now at Texas Tech. Jalen House is one of the best on-ball defenders we've ever seen in Cherry and Silver. But this year's team defensively as a unit might be even better. Coach Pitino would dispute that. He says, let's wait till the end of the year, see what the metrics say, and we'll make that judgment. Certainly House is one of the greatest defenders the Lobos have ever had. Statistics show that, right? He set a single-season steals record. A long-standing one that belonged to Hunter Green, my broadcast partner. And the combination of Joseph and Toppin as shot blockers at the back end of the defense last year was dangerous. But we know that Nelly has taken a step up. His play this year is incredible. His defense, both on the perimeter and at the back line, is the best that I've seen in a long, long time. He is truly now an elite shot blocker himself. And when you add the size and the length that the Lobos have on the wing, and the unbelievable individual defense that True Washington is putting together as a true sophomore, this team plays defense even differently from last year's. You had individuals making plays last year. This year, as a team, they get in the passing lanes, they create deflections, they force turnovers, they get out on the break. It is so much fun to watch. It's the most exciting brand of basketball that you can play, and their defense creates transition buckets. The Pit loves it.
Yeah, hey, you'll see it. I'm sure you'll see it tonight. We hope we see it tonight, and I'm counting on seeing it tonight. When the other team has got 12 seconds on the shot clock, and they're still 20 feet away from the basket, getting double teamed, forcing passes. It's amazing how many teams have to force a shot in the last 4 or 5 seconds. That leads to bad shots, easy rebounds, and then we saw last week against Air Force, Lobos kind of fast break a little more than we've seen. Phillip getting down court, ahead of, no pressure from Air Force on offensive boards. I wonder if we'll see a little more of, it's hard to imagine running more, but they run more. No one can keep up with them.
They run off of missed shots. They get pick sixes off of live ball turnovers. And you'll see it 2 or 3 times a game. The Lobos will get a basket after a made hoop. And it's because Coach Pitino implores his team, don't let them relax. And he said it's a natural human nature kind of thing where you just take a little sigh of relief when the ball goes in the hoop. You'll see the Lobos get the ball out of bounds, circa 1980s Lakers. Kurt Rambis grabbing it out of the hoop and getting it to Magic, and they're up the court. And, of course, the Lobos' Magic Johnson is Donovan Dent. It is an unbelievable thing to see when they score a fast break bucket off a made hoop on their own defensive end.
Yeah, it's wild, and it's demoralizing for the other team. The crowd at home goes crazy. Now, all right, we're going to look forward to the rest of the season and what's going on in the Mountain West, but let's look at tonight and the Wyoming Cowboys. Wasn't that long ago, the Lobos probably had their worst half of the season up in Laramie in the first half. 18 points. What was that about?
Well, they were down 14 at the break, and they could not make a shot. They started the game 1 out of 13. That was the first of a couple of recent games where we've seen something like that at the start. The game at Clune Arena, New Mexico fell down quickly, and it was because they missed their first 10 shots. Of course, before 0 for 10. Coach Pitino couldn't believe it. He said, I've never seen that happen in my career to one of his teams. But we know that New Mexico had a big lead at halftime and then absolutely, dominated the second half. Their third consecutive game of 50-plus points in the second half against a league opponent. They're doing things that are just unheard of. And I asked Coach yesterday on his radio show about those starts that we just mentioned, the one at Wyoming, the one at Clune against Air Force. And I asked about the mindset that New Mexico has. the chins don't hit the chest. There's no slumping of the shoulders. There's no loss of body language. It's almost like an air of inevitability that eventually what they do defensively is going to take over the game. And we've seen it happen against the best opponents in the league throughout the entire season.
Well, I think you hit on something there about the inevitability. I think one thing I've noticed watching Richard Pitino coach, not only in games, I am lucky I get to sit in a lot of practices. And we see it in practice where he just shoot the ball. Like, you miss the shot. Like, you will see them run a play, even yesterday, get a wide open three, it goes in and out. It goes, good play. He's not like screaming, make the shot. He'll joke around, but he can do your thing. Keep going. There's no negative involved. Anyway, all right, we did part one. We've got so much more to talk about. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots. Got shots. Got shots.
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hey, we're back, part two of the 505 SVF show. Special guest voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy. So much to talk about, so little time. All right, so now we come into home game tonight. Again, expected 12, 13, 14,000 fans for a Wednesday night game against Wyoming. And we have the fourth or fifth highest basketball budget in the conference. Call your state representative, people. Let's get the budget up to reality. All right, so we got Wyoming. We look in the journal, and you know what? Here you go. On the next page is the line. What? Oh, Lobos are 17.5-point favorites. 17.5-point favorites. You can't bet on these things, you're a little crazy. Lobos win tonight. Let's say the Lobos win tonight. Go ahead.
It's a different scenario than when they played Wyoming the first time at the Dome of Doom, at the AA, the Arena Auditorium in Laramie. Obi Agbim did not play in that game. He's their best player. He's their top scorer. He's a multi-level scorer. He's one of the best pure scorers in the conference. Coach Pitino told me that yesterday. He was not with Wyoming when the Lobos beat them last month. So a little bit different look to the Cowboys tonight. Interesting. I'm interested to see if he is a playmaker, because if he's just a scorer and he's kind of a head-down guy, the Lobos are going to send two guys at him, and it's going to be really hard on him. If he can't set up his teammates well enough, I don't think it's going to make any difference. That's how good New Mexico's defense is.
Exactly. It's funny. I've watched them a couple or three times. They're hard to watch. I mean, I was there in Laramie, and I've seen them on TV a couple times blow games down the stretch. I can't tell what kind of ball player he is. we were told when we were in Laramie they might function better without him because he needs the ball the whole time. And if he's that's what you're talking about. Head down, ball comes to me. First, Phil has done an incredible job on these guys. It doesn't matter who he covers. They give him the guy. And he's fast, quick enough on his feet, and long. And so that starts it, and then there's the constant double team. Get the ball out of this guy's hands. You saw it with Nico in Colorado State, 9 points. So, okay, we've got that now. That sets us up for Sunday. Utah State comes in, only 2 losses. Smarting, I'm sure, from the spanking they got up in Logan. What is huge game?
Massive. And there's no way that Utah State, in their minds, come into the pit and make just a handful of threes like they did when the Lobos routed them in Logan. They're going to shoot the ball better. That was such an aberration. And the Lobos get a ton of credit for the defense that they played. There's no doubt. Because 3-point field goal shooting percentage, New Mexico has had a pretty good time of it against their opponents this season. But Utah State is a prolific 3-point shooting team, and they shoot from all positions, all 5 positions on the court, and they're not going to go 4 for 25 or whatever it was like they did in Logan. So, expect their best shot.
Okay. Well, I already did what I said I wouldn't do, is jump ahead. Because you want to look down the road. Well, as a fan, it's fun.
No doubt.
Coach Petit, and you can look online, and there's 10, Lobos are in 10 brackets. Right now, it seems like they're 8 or 9 in everyone's bracket. We've got Gonzaga in the first round. We've got UConn in the first round. We've got Auburn in the second if we win, blah, 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 blah. That's fun. It's utterly ridiculous. It's one game at a time. Coach Pitino has said one of the coolest things. It's like people are always asking me, what about the season? He goes, you're asking me to review a movie at intermission. We're not done yet. What can I say? Are we happy about having one loss? Sure. But, that could change overnight.
And this is something that you and I were talking about before we started the show, and you're 100% right. You look to the future and you think the Lobos are in great position, but it all blows up if you don't take care of business, especially against the second tier of the conference in your remaining home games against teams like that. And that is exactly what tonight is against Wyoming. And you absolutely have to win this game.
You have to.
And the goal is the first regular season Mountain West Championship since 2012. So it's been a while. The 2012-2013 season, right? That's the last time the Lobos won a regular season title. They won an outright title in Coach Alford's final season.
Wow, we'd love to see that happen. But you're right. It goes from you beat Wyoming, and then you're in great shape. Let's hold big game. Let's hold serve against Utah State. You somehow lose to Wyoming, and all of a sudden you've got Utah State and 3 ridiculous road games. You're tied for first place. It changes the whole mindset. So, all right, Wyoming is Wyoming. It just should be able to take a 40-minute effort, and that's enough?
Yeah. No, it's the relentlessness of New Mexico's style of play. I thought it was really cool. You mentioned Phillip. Phil is an amazing defender, has been a huge part of the Lobos' success defensively. You talked about that. Let's give a ton of credit as well to True Washington. He's often drawing the assignment against one of the opposing team's outstanding guards as well, and he's done an incredible job with that when he has that assignment. But Phil said it's the way that New Mexico's pace wears on you over the course of 40 minutes, and that's why over that sort of fourth quarter, those last 10 minutes of the game, in each of the last 3 games, New Mexico has run away and just hidden from its opponents because they really do wear them down.
Well, we've seen really strong use of bench with Mustafa sitting out and then maybe not being at full speed the game before, and he's iffy.
And go back to Utah State when Nelly had foul trouble in the first half and great minutes from Atiki.
Right.
The bench He prepared his bench early in the year by playing them for these opportunities in these moments when they were needed.
Well, it's been paying off. So, all right, we've got one more segment. Hang out. We've got to sell you some stuff. We'll be back with Rob Portnoy just after this short break.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hey everybody, we're back. Voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy. We're talking Lobo baskets. And in the break, we were informed, much to my surprise, that ticket sales for tonight's game are sluggish, which is hard to imagine for me. Sold out Sunday, top of the league, conference game, 8 o'clock. Let's go. What's going on?
Yeah.
And you had talked with that about Coach yesterday.
So there was a great day of ticket sales yesterday for tonight's game. But that by itself is not going to be enough to get tonight's crowd alone to where you would expect it to be. And yes, it is it's as important a game as any game that the Lobos will play this season. We just talked about it in the last segment. And Wyoming's good enough to shock the world, right? And we've seen it happen over the course of the season to other good teams in the conference, and it's happened to New Mexico twice, where they've lost games that they probably should have won, that people expected them to win. The crowd can make a difference, and Coach Pitino said it yesterday in his press conference. It is truly an advantage. A packed pit is an advantage. That was his comment at his press conference yesterday, and yeah, we need a great crowd tonight.
Well, it's like, that's easy. You guys are everybody watching the show has got to be a Lobo fan. All you have to do is your part. Buy a ticket. That helps the whole business of Lobo Athletics. But get in there and yell, because you're in essence that sixth man.
No question.
Like, the pit is notorious. It would really kind of suck. I think it's Fox tonight. Fox FS1 is tonight. It's FS1. We want to show the pit as packed and vibrant. The announcers love to talk about it. If we have empty sections in the upper deck and the corners, come on. So let's get out there to the game. Tickets are on sale. They're easy to get. You can walk. Don't wait to walk up, because then you'll miss the first 5 minutes. Get online, golobos.com, buy your tickets now. Let's go. Let's get behind this team.
I want to put out a little teaser, because Sunday is Retro Day.
Oh, right. We got to talk about it.
We just revealed what the uniforms are going to look like when New Mexico plays Utah State in front of a sold-out pit Sunday, 2 o'clock. It's circa late 70s. It's the Michael Cooper era Lobos with a little turquoise. They're replicas of what those jerseys looked like back then, when the turquoise accents were a part of the New Mexico color scheme. And starting tonight, Lobo fans at the pit, at the Lobo Den store at the pit, can purchase gear. There's only a limited amount of these limited edition hoodies and shirts that have the same color scheme. There are even going to be some replica jerseys, identical to ones that the players will be wearing on Sunday. Those will be available. This is your first opportunity tonight against Wyoming, and there's a limited supply. So another little treat for fans who come to the game tonight. You'll see them for the first time and get a chance to get them.
No doubt about it, Dave. We're online. If you go on X and look at various Lobo basketball, the Lobo Club, everybody put out pictures. We had Nelly and Donovan Dent pose in the pictures. Hey, I hate to date myself as I head into about to reach my 8th decade, but I was there. I was there when they wore those uniforms. I don't know. I mean, we had, you call it the Cooper era. For me, it was Marvin Johnson. Marvin was the star of that team. Coop couldn't shoot the ball at UNM. He became a prolific three-point scorer in the NBA. Just wild. But a great player nonetheless. We had the uniforms were great. You know, now we need Richard to have bell bottoms and some turquoise on Sunday. It would be perfect. But, okay, well, don't get carried away. I'll suggest it to him today. Go out, buy some of this stuff. And for all old New Mexico fans, I have no idea why this does it to me. When I think back to those eras and the posed pictures, the one ball player I think of was a local Albuquerque kid. I believe he went to Monsanto High School, was Norm Casey. And I just have that picture in my head from the yearbook. We didn't have this. We weren't texting. We had a yearbook. There was Norm Casey. I love the picture. It's still in my mind. Almost 50 years ago. So go out to the pit and buy some tickets. Buy some gear.
One more big thing. Today is Lobos Give Day. It only happens once a year. This is the 5th annual. And in fact, the Lobo Alliance is one of the 3 areas of focus this year for Lobos Give Day. It's a 24-hour period. Give to your New Mexico Lobos, and you can help out with 505 SVF.
Right, that was, I'm just checking.
GoLobos.com/GiveDay.
GoLobos.com/GiveDay. We're a part of it. I just got a message. I was just looking at it now. Things are going really well. Help us out. And if you don't get online today, come see me at the game tonight. We'll tell you how to do it. We take hand-delivered checks. Anything helps. It's up to you. I've been saying this for now a couple of 3 years. You can buy stock in the Lobos. This is like a publicly traded corporation. We all need to invest. Again, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000 in the pit on Wednesday night. Let's feed that fat little calf. Let's not starve it. We've got something great going. First place in the Mountain West. We'll win tonight. Huge game Sunday afternoon. What a cool thing. So let's get out there and do it. All right, we got less than a minute left. Thoughts on, what do you see the rest of the year? I hate to do it, but you've got to do it. We cruise into San Diego State.
So I was thinking about this as I was driving downtown to talk with you today on this show. Yes, no team had ever won 4 in a row to win a Mountain West tournament, and that was an amazing feat last year. And the Lobos hadn't won a tournament title, hadn't won a trophy of any kind in a decade. It is much harder to win the regular season championship, Kurt. Much harder. We talked about it. It's been 12 years since the Lobos won the regular season championship. And to do it and potentially do it outright, like that 2012-2013 team did, is unbelievably difficult. Last year's team finished 6th during the regular season before it went and won the conference tournament. The Lobos have something in their sights, something that they can do this year that is extremely hard. And you can, as a Lobo fan, you can help make it happen by being there tonight.
Get there tonight. Let's beat Wyoming. 505sports.org. We'll see you next week. Let's go Lobos. Show up tonight.